Okay, this is Behind the Dirty Windshield episode, well, could be more of 3 or 4 or something. And of course this is a vlog brought to you by Pepsi. Well, not really, but since the guy's parked in front of me, I guess you could say he's Pepsi. Anyway, I am in North Carolina. I got about 6.5 hours to go to Jacksonville, and it's another beautiful day here. It's gonna be. It's already 65 where I am. I'm supposed to get up to 93. So I'm assuming the souther I go, the hotter it's gonna get. So I'm gonna hit the road here, and I spent the night at a too expensive hotel. Let's put it that way. I didn't care for it, but anyway, it was all right. I should say that. And I went to my dinner at Outback. They didn't have Red Oak beer. The food wasn't very good. I was very disappointed with them, because usually, when I've had them before, they've been pretty good, but not today. So anyway, I'm gonna get on the road, and I'll keep in touch as we go along. We're gonna be just basically on 95 all the way, unless I find an interesting historical site of some type to stop. Alright, we're on the road here. We're on 95, still in North Carolina. It's 67 degrees already, and I've had to turn the air conditioning on. So now what I want to talk about. Have you ever noticed when you're driving, especially in the morning and in the late afternoon, that the sun always finds a way to go around your sun visor? Now, you have a sun visor or a sunshade or a sunscreen, whatever you might want to call it. It's supposed to block out the sun, but the sun always finds a way through, as is the case today with mine. I have the visor down on the driver's side window, but the sun is coming through little 6-inch space between the end of the visor and the door panel, door post, I guess would be the official name. And it's right in my eyes, so I can't see anything out the left side of the car. It even helps, even affects when I'm trying to look in the mirror. So I also noticed that if I happen to be, right now, if this was late afternoon, it would be that on the left side, where the last 6 inches is where the sun would be coming through. And also in the front, where if you put them both down, it's going to come right between the middle of the two of them. So why do they even have sun visors? I don't know. Why can't they make them so they are a little longer? I did have one truck that had, I think it was one of my little S10 pickup, I think. I don't remember, but it did have an extension on the visor, which was perfect. The only vehicle I ever drove, maybe one of the tow trucks that I drove might have had one, where you could actually block the sun. Does anybody else find that a problem? I do. But then why would automobile manufacturers want to fix that? I suppose I could probably find something out there to buy. I'm sure there's something out there. But now I'm at the point in my life that I've been dealing with this for so many years now. It's like, what the heck, Anyway, it's still not that green out. I did see some trees, with some white blossoms on them. I don't know what they were. I'm not from around here, so I don't know the nature of things. But even, there's the little green spots, but the trees, I've never really seen any leaves here, south of the border. First time I've ever been here. Not quite sure what the attraction is, but they did have a bathroom. And I did get gas. I'm just going to kind of drive around here and see if there's anything to see, and then maybe, just maybe, I'll stop and look at something. However, I don't think I want to go into the fireworks store or the Mexico shop. And we have a giraffe to look at. What else we got here? I hear a train. I don't know where it is. Should be coming across over here somewhere. You can see it. We have a gorilla. Other stuff. Fort Pedro. I think this is going to be a bust. It is, I would say, a tourist trap. Whoa, that could have been bad. Alright, so we are now headed south. Again, we've got about, I think 4 hours to go. And kind of scoping out to see if I might be able to find some kind of historical site or something that I might want to stop, because I'm going to have plenty of time to stop. Back on 95 here, the grass is green, and there are some leaves on the trees, not many. Still hear the train, but I have no clue where it was. I don't know, I haven't seen, I take that back, I did see a couple of stationary trains yesterday. But other than that, I really haven't seen a whole lot. Moving trains. Not much of anything to see down here. we're going to come across, but that's what we'll be back. Okay, we're back with you. Just got back from a hike, which you know if you're still with me, and if you're still with me, thank you. That's just kind of what I do on my other channel when I just go hiking and work up a good sweat. Now I stink, but you know what? I needed it. I'm tired of winter. But anyway, we're headed back to 95. We're gonna just go probably speed bumps. We're gonna probably head right down to Jacksonville. And should be there in about 3.5 hours. Should be good. Not sure if I will go check into the hotel before I complete my business, or if I will, whatever. But anyway, it's a very nice wildlife refuge. I'm really into, especially lately, this couple of years, I'm really into history, Native American history, military, colonial history, all kinds of stuff. I love to get out and hike and see what I can find out there. You never know. See the wildlife. I heard stuff. A lot of birds. You can see the Indian Mound and the fort. But anyway, I gotta figure out which way I'm gonna go, and I will. One right, I don't know, so I will be back a little later. Anyway, I'm back on 95, just getting on it. See, it's kind of hazy. I'm assuming that's just haze because it's hot. It's 79, a little humid. I guess that's how it gets down here. Still thinking about moving. No, there ain't no snow on the ground. nice people. Can you tell like I'm from Massachusetts? Anyway, you know. But anyway, so the thing is, if you're gonna spend that kind of money on one of those, this thing here was filthy. I mean, it was just filthy. You could see just road dirt grime on it. Don't you think you could afford to run it to the car wash once a week? Something? I don't know. It's that way to me. But hey, what do I know? Now, the other couple of interesting observations that I've made today is, and again, I couldn't get pictures of these things. But first of all, it was nice to see a couple of Confederate flags flying high on the side of the road. That was in South Carolina. But then, you know, of course, we're in the Bible Belt. There's nothing wrong with the Bible Belt. But I just came across one interesting. There were a lot of billboards, you know, telling you that, you know, Jesus saves, which he does. God is love, this and that. But there was one kind of interesting. There was two billboards, one under the other. The top one said Jesus saves, and the other one was for a personal injury lawyer. And it just kind of struck me as like maybe some kind of contradiction, you know. Jesus talks about forgiveness and stuff. Guy down below wants you to sue the hell out of everybody. But anyway. Oh, I got about 2 hours to go. I should be there about, excuse me, 4 o'clock. 1:53 now. It's hot. Well, not as hot as I thought it was going to be. It's 91 outside my doors. And, however, I am seeing Amazon Prime trucks. I'm talking about the trailer trucks. Now, most of those trailer trucks are driven by independent drivers. Now, the problem I guess I have, it's not just independent drivers, and it's not just Amazon Prime trucks, because all the other ones like Prime, not Amazon Prime, but Prime Trucking, Schneider, JB Hunt, and all these others. There's a problem with a lot of these drivers have very little training. Many of them cannot.
There are police reported ahead.
Okay, police reported ahead. Many of them can't speak English, read or write English. And, I'm all for giving people, opportunities. But, first of all, I believe it's against DOT regulations. If you're driving a commercial truck, you must be able to speak English and understand English. You see an awful lot of, and I'm using Amazon Prime because it's mostly the Amazon Prime that it seems has happened with. And a lot of them go off the road, get in accidents, all kinds of problems. My son tells me he's in the towing business, and he's always towing trucks that go down roads they shouldn't be on, and they get stuck and they can't turn around, and they come to a little bridge. And he makes good money on that, and he says, most of it's just because the drivers, they can't understand English, and they just, blindly follow the GPS, don't have a clue about what they're doing. And that's kind of scary if you think about it, because you don't know what these people are going to do. Another thing I was thinking, wrapping this trip up, about maybe said to me,